What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So I actually ran a poll yesterday, and I was really surprised at the results. And the results, I mean, we're talking, what, 96%? 96% of you guys agreed with this poll. And I'm going to show you this poll, and we're going to talk about what's going on when it comes to Congress and our trust in Congress, our trust in our lawmakers, because I think this is where we need to go. When it comes to fixing our problems, we need to address where the problem is coming from. And so that's what we're going to talk about in this video. But first off, if you guys can do me a favor, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you'll get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification and clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. And just a reminder, thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. And if you'd like to follow me on Twitter and Threads, you can at the TEC Show Live. Okay, so you guys see I'm back in my studio, and I want to talk about this poll. Now, I want to show you the poll first, and then we're gonna talk about this. So I ran this poll, and the question that I asked was, do you think lawmakers create most of the problems we face in this country? I've never done a poll and gotten a result like this. An overwhelming amount of people, 96% of the people who answered this poll, and we have 1,200 people who answered the poll, said that they think lawmakers are the ones that are creating most of the problems that we face today. Only 4% said no. And so what does that tell us? That tells us that the vast majority of people in this poll think that lawmakers are the problem. Okay, not all lawmakers, but there are some lawmakers that are the problem. And I'm saying this, not all lawmakers, because you do have some lawmakers that are there and they're trying to do the job. But then you have other lawmakers that are out there and they're trying to do the opposite of work. They're trying to just cause chaos. And we just saw that with the whole government shutdown, and last minute they averted the government shutdown and all of the stuff that's going on when it comes to Congress. This, I mean, we have a dysfunctional government right now. And we have some politicians that are out there just trying to go viral because they know if they go viral, then they'll get more support, financial support. And so you'll have them out there just doing things that they know it's not right, and they know it can hurt the American people, but it will allow them to go viral. And they'll stand out there and say, we're opposed to this because they're not building the wall, or they're not doing this, or they're not doing that. And then when a politician comes to them and says, okay, we're going to address those needs, then they just move the goalposts, and then it's something else. So it's always going to be a no for some of these lawmakers. And that is causing a huge problem when it comes to our economy, the stock market. And you might look at the stock market and say, well, I'm not invested in the stock market. Most of us are, but we don't know. We have 401ks. We have retirement plans. They're invested in the stock market. If the stock market doesn't do well, then guess what? Your 401k doesn't do well. Your retirement plan doesn't do well. If you have a pension, a lot of your pension is invested. So in situations like that, if you have politicians that are out there holding the country hostage, they're out there saying we're going to go on a government shutdown, and the markets respond to that in a negative way, that's lawmakers creating problems that we don't have to have. And so now we have 45 days until the next talk of a shutdown. That's basically what's going on. Now, they're not going to address it right away, which you would think they would address it right away, so we won't go until the 11th hour. We're going to go into the 11th hour again, so November 15th, 16th, we're going to be talking about the same thing, and they're going to be trying to avert a government shutdown again because lawmakers will wait until the last minute, which is going to hurt the American people. It's going to cause our economy to be unstable. It's going to, the markets will respond to this in a negative way, and it's all created by lawmakers because if they really wanted to do something, they could do it today, but they're choosing not to. Right now, they're going to try to ouster Speaker McCarthy. That's going to be the focus. So you're going to have the Freedom Caucus out there trying to vacate the speakership, and then they'll have to vote on a new speaker. So that's going to be chaos. And then there's another thing that I saw that I thought was really interesting, and I want to show you this because right now what's going on is this last bill. So let me just kind of set the stage first. So when it comes to this bill that they passed to avert a shutdown, and it gives you 45 more days, it was supposed to be a clean, continued resolution. And the Senate actually created a bill, bipartisan bill, that they were going to pass and then send it to the House. However, the House said, we're going to create our own bill. And so they waited until the last minute. So we're talking Saturday. They created a bill on Saturday, and then that's the bill that they were going to vote on. However, Republicans are the ones that created the bill. They didn't give Democrats any time to read the bill. It's like 71 pages. They didn't have time to read the bill, which this is something that Speaker McCarthy was really adamantly against. And he said, we're going to have 72 hours to read every bill that is put before the House. However, in this situation, they didn't have 72 hours. They had not even 72 minutes. They had a few minutes to actually look over this bill. And one of the things that they found in this bill is that when the Senate created their bill, they blocked a cost of living adjustment for Congresspeople. And so when they looked at the bill in the House, it was no longer blocked. And so this is not a raise for Congresspeople. However, it's the cost of living adjustment, so it is a boost to their salary. Now, let me show you this because I saw this article. This is on Fox, and they're basically saying this: Democratic lawmaker falsely claims House Republicans tried to provide themselves with a pay raise. Okay, now they're correct in saying that this is not a raise. It's not a raise. However, it is a cost of living adjustment, which means that it'll be an increase to their pay. Okay, and I always say this when it comes to Social Security, we're talking about Social Security increase, the COLA increase. It's just an increase. It's not a raise. A raise is something in addition. The cost of living adjustment goes along with inflation. And so usually employers will provide some type of a cost of living adjustment. So it's just interesting that the Senate blocked it, and then the House said, no, we're going to keep that in. And so what I find amusing about this whole situation is a big part of the reason why we're looking at a government shutdown. And we're still looking at a government shutdown. Okay, so don't think that it's over. Like I said, 45 days, we're going to be talking about the same thing. But the reason that we're looking at a government shutdown is because of government spending. And a part of government spending would be going towards this cost of living adjustment. But Congresspeople don't have a problem when it comes to an increase to their salary, but they have a problem when it comes to an increase to other people's salary. Okay, so basically, when we're talking about federal employees, when we're talking about increases for people in different agencies, because right now, the big talk, the Freedom Caucus, what they want to do is they want cuts across the board when it comes to agencies. And there's talk of a 30% cut across the board. And so if we're talking about a 30% cut, they're not going to have much money to do things, to hire more people and to do things like that. So it's funny that they want to cut all these agencies, but when it comes to their cost of living adjustment, we need to have our cost of living adjustment. Even though the Senate was smart enough to say, you know what, this doesn't look good. If we're talking about making cuts, we need to take some of the cuts as well. And so that's why they blocked the cost of living adjustment. But the House said, no, we're going to keep that in there. Not only are we going to keep that in there, we're going to put this bill together in the last minute, put it on the floor, and not give the other side enough time to read the bill. I mean, it's really sad. And so when I posted that poll, I didn't expect to get a response like that. But obviously, you guys are looking at this the way that I'm seeing it as well. Lawmakers are creating most of these problems, and they're going to continue to create these problems until we get them out of office, because some of them need to go. Like I said, some of them do the right thing, but some of them don't. And the some that don't, they're hurting all of us. And so we need to call these people out. And so in the future, I'm going to do some more videos where we're going to talk about some of these politicians that are just not doing anything. They just want to go viral. And those politicians need to be voted out of office. because they're not being constructive at all. They're being destructive, and they're hurting all of us. And so I'm going to be doing a new segment. Okay, so I'm going to continue doing all this stuff that I've been doing before, talking about retirement, talking about Social Security, but I'm also going to do this new segment called Problem Creators Caucus. Now think about this, and this is what's really baffles me. When we're looking at the Problem Solvers Caucus, and if you guys have heard of that before, it's a group of bipartisan Congress people who get together and try to vote on some of these bills. So they're in the middle when it comes to trying to create bills and get them passed. It is a shame that we have a caucus called the Problem Solvers Caucus. Because when you look at Congress as a whole, shouldn't they be problem solvers? Shouldn't that be their role? Shouldn't that be what they do? But the mere fact that you need to have a Problem Solvers Caucus is a problem. Because that's saying, okay, you have some Congress people that want to get things done, and then you have a group of other politicians that are just on one side or the other, and they're not budging. And they don't want to get things done. They don't want to negotiate things. That's a huge problem. So this new segment where we're going to expose some of these politicians, it's going to be called the Problem Creators Caucus, because they're creating a lot of these problems. And like I said, it's not all Congress people. It's not all lawmakers that are doing this, but you do have a select few that are doing this, and they are affecting all of us, and they need to be exposed for what they're doing. But we're going to start doing that in the very near future. We'll have some videos. I'll post some different videos. But I just wanted to bring this to your attention because this is a huge problem, and it's only getting worse. It's only getting worse. We have more and more politicians out there that are figuring out, you know what? If we stand alone and we go viral, we'll get more money. We'll get more popularity. And that's what they want. That's all they want. They don't have any, what's their platform? What's their plan for the future? They don't have a plan for the future. All they want to do is enrich themselves. All they want to do is go viral because they know that the funding will come in. They can play victim and say, oh, they're after me. They're doing this. They're doing this. Donate to my campaign. That's all it's about. And if you're in the House, you have to run every 2 years. So you're constantly in campaign mode. So if you can go viral and continue to go viral and continue to be a victim and say, yes, you need to send me more money, then you can keep the campaign going. You can keep the funding going for your campaign. And that is what we're seeing with some of these politicians. And they need to be exposed. Like I said, if they're there and they're not doing anything and they don't really have a plan for the future, they shouldn't be there. You should have someone else in their place. So that's what we're going to be doing. Another segment. Like I said, we're going to continue doing the segments that we've been doing, but I will add that. The Problem Creators Caucus is what we're going to call it. And we're going to expose some of these different politicians that are out there that are just, they're not there to help anyone. The only person they're there to help is themselves. So I want to know what you guys think about this, and go ahead and join the poll. So actually participate in that poll. I'll post a link in the comments. It'll be pinned at the very top. And I just want to see how many people, what people feel about the lawmakers. Are lawmakers creating a lot of these problems? So go ahead and please participate in that poll. If you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.